There's my boy. There's my Twister boy. You know, Twister really, it breaks my heart because knowing what he's been through his whole life. Look at that. I got to tell you though, he's moving much better here. He's on meds. His whole life he's had a mangled left arm. Probably run over on the streets of Mexico. He was brought over in this border open door policy here. He was brought over as a family dog, pretending to be a family. But Border Patrol, somebody saw him and just couldn't leave him. How can you? It breaks your heart to see a guy suffer like this and survive. You know, and he's smiling all the time. He's a good-natured dog. I'd be, if that happened to me, I'd be, I mean, it'd happen to any of us. You'd be out hunting for the person who did it the rest of your life. He's just so nice. I don't get it. But the heartbreaking part for me is I would take this guy home if I possibly could. He's the kind of dog I would take home. A guy that you want to make it up to him somehow. This whole place, I try to make it up to them. That's what I'm doing here. I try to make up to the bad time that they had, near death. And him, you want to go the extra distance because he's been in pain his whole life. Put on a lot of weight here, though, I tell you. He was skinny because he couldn't get much food, but he eats everything. You ready? You ready? Want to come see me? There's my boy. There's my boy. Look at my boy. You are such a good boy. You are such a good boy. Yes, you are. Come on, come over here. Twister, come here, boy. Yeah. That was a good one. Another one. I'll get my chair. Oh, I don't need my chair. Come here. Okay. You a good boy? I'm trying to get him to relax. Come here, Twister. No. He went around the other way. There he is. There he is. Come here. Come here. How's my boy? How's my boy? Come here. Come here. See how shy he is? And he knows me. Another piece? You want another piece? I'll give you a little piece. Yes. Twister's 13 years old. This little boy, somehow in puppyhood, was a street dog down in Mexico. He got run over and, no vet care, pain. Imagine you get your leg broken and you get nobody to set it, you get nobody to do anything. The pain. And he lived like that. It eventually healed over. And is crooked like that, and he's had to walk like that. He can't really get any speed up. Came in from Border Patrol. So the Twister story is probably going to be like this. A lot of this is going on, and it makes more sense. I'm not going to say the city, but there's a city that is in Mexico. The other half of it is in the United States. And there's a lot of ways to sneak through. They do have it watched. But what happens is people come and they pretend to be a family and they take a dog from the street or they buy the dog from somebody who claims it's theirs, which it isn't. And so they chose Twister because he's going to get a lot of sympathy at the border. The illegals know that if they pose, well, back then, if they pose as a family, now they just walk across, but if they pose as a family, they can get by a lot more places than they could if they were just separate. Look at that poor boy. God. He's 13. He spent his whole life like this. So anyway, they brought him across the border, which isn't that far. And then they left him in the desert, and they did whatever. They go in different directions, and they leave the dogs behind. Now, we have Border Patrol agents. They're human, and some of them love animals just like we do. And they felt bad for him, so they give him food and water out of their rations. And he doesn't go away. He stays around the same spot. So they tried finding homes. They tried to find homes among their friends and family. And eventually, they run out of friends and family. So we have a back door where they could, through a little network that we set up, they can get us a dog that they can't find a home for on their own. We've got a number of them around here that are scary, so people, I mean, they look scary, so people, you know, they can't find a home for dogs who look scary, so we've got a number of them. But Twister here, what a life. You know, the street dogs all over the world is part of why I'm doing this, because all over the world there are dogs, cats you can't even see because they're so smart, they hide and they suffer and die alone. The dogs are, you know, I just heard yesterday from somebody in Mexico. It's an American retirement community, but it's Mexico. And yesterday, they sent the pound, came through from Mexicali, and they hundreds of miles away, and they come through twice a year, and they collect the street dogs. They collect them kind of nasty. You collect them, and they grab them and put them in the thing, and they take them back to Mexicali, and they're immediately killed. Now, they say euthanize, but they don't euthanize them. They don't. The word on the street down there is that they shoot them or electrocute them. They don't give them, you know, a nice passing the way we do in this country. Even then, they don't even euthanize them. It's not a word they know. So they just came through yesterday and picked up a bunch of this guy. If he were in that bunch, obviously they can catch him in a second. But you see young, healthy dogs, and the person who told me they're all a wreck because they see this twice a year. Says, "Is there anything we could do?" I said, "You know, grab one or two that you can and save their life." But that's what they do. They electrocute them. They shoot them. Yes, honey. We had a place we were helping a shelter in India years ago. And the big problem there was they would collect the street dogs and electrocute them. They put them in the back of a truck, throw water in there and juice it, flatbed, and horrible screams and stuff. And that's what they do. They still do it, and they do it right all over the world. So my point is, if we could get our word on what we do here, and the fact that here's an angel who's had a hell of a time. Look at him going in the water now. Remember, water here is gold to them. The desert dogs, they don't see water. So having a pool to just, wow, I said, this is heaven. Wow, real water. They never get over that. They love water. When they come in here, they just love their water. Military's mapping us. people around the world have to know, hopefully by our example here, who these animals really are. They're not shoes, they're not disposable. They're really, look at this guy, he's an angel. This guy was sent to somebody and rejected and thrown out and run over, has had a miserable friggin' life. Somehow he survived. I mean, most of them don't survive. He survived, he went through this, he's in pain. We have him on pain drugs, we have him on a couple of drugs, but mainly his pain is under control, because that is painful. And he's put on weight, which is kind of not good for the leg, but on the other hand, is good for him. He loves it. He loves his food. And he can't get around much, so he doesn't have much exercise, so he's put on some extra weight. But he's happy. Right, Twister? Twister's a happy boy. And he's alive. He's alive, he wouldn't have been. And really, we can't take all the credit, because some Border Patrol animal lovers got involved with him and brought him to us ultimately. Of course, it's worse now. There's a lot of stuff going on. I can't speak about the politics of any of it, but I can tell you as an animal expert what's happening down there is there's animals being left in the desert on this side. And one of them, I have one here, came in after Twister. We'll get to him. He was rescued by a Border Patrol canine officer. This dog was in the desert for like 3 weeks, nobody around, and he put water down because he didn't have any water. And just by putting water, he befriended him enough that he jumped in his canine vehicle one day, and he brought him in, and he brought him to the station. Then he brought him to his house. Then he brought him to us. Now the amazing thing is we can't do that. We can't just get him to come, and we can't get near him. The guy had to really relax, and it took him like almost a year before he would trust us. How he trusted this Border Patrol aide, I have no idea. How he just bonded with him like that. Well, if that happens, the guy's not gonna, you know, he loves dogs. He's got a canine dog, you know, he loves dogs. He knows what they are. And what can you do? So fortunately, we're here. And through a little network, he got to us. Look at Twister. Twister! Come here, Twister. Oh, there's nothing wrong with his hearing. You want some more? I see you sniffing. He's sniffing the treats. There you go. He's wagging that tail. He's wagging that tail. Yes. Yes, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. Now, every time I drive down the driveway on the way out, I stop for everybody and give him treats. And he's one that he loves coming up to the fence, and he can't jump because of his legs, so I get out of the car and put him down for him. And I have some in my pocket. I think I have another one. Look, I have water. There you go. And I might even have, no, is that it? There you go. There you go. He's my boy. He's my good boy. Yeah. Yes. He's a good boy, Twister. He's a good boy. Yes, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. You try to make it up to them somehow. I mean, you know, we give them the best we can, do everything we can for them. Oh, I think I might have another little piece here. Otherwise, I have to go back to the bag. I do. I have two. Look at that. That's a real chewy. Here's another one. Ah, yes. You can never make it up to them. But at least here they know. They at least had, on this planet, they did find love, finally, on this planet, somebody who cared. So when they go back, they say, well, it's not that bad. It is, but it's not that bad. I found, this place. Yes. And we don't adopt. There's a reason we don't adopt. In fact, I had a dog like one of Ramona back there. I had a dog named Bonnie years ago. And I wrote a book on adoptions. I had celebrities do a movie about adoptions, a documentary. And this is back in the days of MASH and Love Boat and all those guys. And I knew, I wrote a book. I knew how to make adoptions happen. And then it didn't feel right, but I had a dog here for 10 years, and these supporters of ours who were really terrific people, they came up and they fell in love with her. And the woman said it reminded her of her childhood dog, so I thought, well, I really hated to place Bonnie, but I did. And then we had, at the same time, we had a dialysis program I started with UC Davis, so we were working with kidneys. That's another story. And we knew a lot about dialysis, and the first one in the world. So we're on the cutting edge. At any rate, I called to check on Bonnie that summer, and they said, oh, we put her down. Now I'm going ballistic. You sign a contract. You can't do that without getting in touch with us first, and then we take it from there. Well, it's our dog. The veterinarian, the local pred pusher in the little shopping center, said, she's developing kidney problems. Developing kidney problems. She could have eaten something that morning in the elevation a little bit, but developing, that doesn't mean anything. And he scared them enough that they put my Bonnie down. And right then and there, I slammed that phone down after an argument, and I said, I will never adopt another dog as long as I live. I cannot trust anybody. They're going to stay with me where I can watch them and take care of them. And then we did this way back about 25 years ago, 30 maybe. I did a market survey. I paid a company to do a market survey on the pet industry because I wanted to know where we all fit in, if there was a way to fundraise. And after a month, the head of the unit called me up. He said, oh my God, I had to call you myself. You won't believe what we just found and verified. What? This is 25, 30 years ago. People in America only keep their pets on average 2.5 years. 2.5 years. Everybody watching this keeps them for life. That means other people keep them for 3 months. The average is 2.5 years. My mind was blown, but you know what? It added up. All my adoption, I was the best adopter out there. And I had the best people I adopted to. And all of my adoptions, I think about what happened ultimately, long term. The lady calls up, husband died. A couple years later, she met somebody new. He hates dogs. Come and get your dogs. At least she called. Other people gave it away. Other people turned them over to the pound. What? And you find out a lot of them did not end up well after they've been through hell, and I rescued them from the wilderness where they were thrown away and psychologically, emotionally, physically damaged. And I thought, I'll find them a home. So I know everybody that's finding homes, I would say if you're going to the pound, a dog's going to get killed today, adopt him. At least he's got 2.5 years average. These guys are here for life, so go to the pound. But there's a lot of heroes out there. I'm not one of them. There's a lot of heroes that say, well, I adopted this many dogs last year. Well, good for you. But most of them are not going to live in that home the rest of their lives. They're not going to end well. So I'm not going to take credit for doing something that isn't beneficial. So you get people around the world saying, well, I can't do what you do. How can I do anything? What's the point? Well, the point is this. I have built this place, Care for Life, for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dogs. And then beside the cats, all the beautiful cats, the horses, we even have farm animals. I built this place to care for them for life. This big, giant place. You could do this much. All I'm asking is that people around the world see the 1 or 2 or 3 dogs or cats or whatever, and take them in and give them a life and keep them for life. Take care of them. You know, they don't have very good vets most of the world. So I can't say, you know, go to the vet all the time, because they don't have that. But if you have veterinarians and if they're any good, go to the vets. Take care of them. Look at him, he's licking his paw that's... Oh, I thought it was the one, I thought it might have been hurting, but it's not. It's just wet. So that's it. You heard it here first. Adoptions don't work. You're spinning your wheels. I'm not taking any homes away from any animals from the pound that need 2.5 years. My job is to make sure these guys are cared for life, raise the money. I try to get people to put us in their estate plans. That's something you don't hear. See, if I said, send donations, give me money, give me cash, that's what they're all doing. Where's that money going? But I'm saying, yeah, if you want to make a donation, that's wonderful. What's even better is put Delta Rescue in your estate plans. Now we know in the future when we're not here anymore, that these animals will be taken care of. Others like them will be coming in because money came from your estate. And believe it, we're alive here today because of people in the past who put us in their estate plans. About 75% of our operating expense money comes from estates. Bless those people who knew, they had foresight. He's had enough jerky. We'll let him rest. He's had a little bath. He's looking, he thinks I'm going to give him one more piece. I'll give you a piece going out the door. Going out the door, I'll give you a piece. Yeah, look at good boy. Don't bother getting up. Don't bother. I said don't bother. One more piece. One more piece. One more piece. And I'm going to put one in here for you to have as a surprise when you go home tonight. All right, I put 2. Yeah. One more hug. One more hug. One more hug. Huh? One more hug. You're the good boy. You're the good boy. As expected. There you go.